Yo, what's good, traders? This is your boy Jada Bar bringing y'all another upload this week. And in this week's upload, I'm actually going to be showing y'all the Tradeify account that I decided to get. And yeah, I'll just show y'all the interface, show y'all the account, and pretty much I'm gonna just also do like a little bit of a little market review, showing like what I'm gonna be looking for the market to do um, going into this week and seeing like if I want to take any trade executions. So, but yeah, before we get into that, ask you guys please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below what you guys think of the platform and what you think of this account. And there's the sort. And also let me know like what sort of videos and content y'all would like to see from me. So, we're gonna go ahead and first I'm minimize my face here. So here we go. We got the dashboard. I like that it does tell you that like when the trading day is ending, like it counts down. So right now today is currently Sunday, and this is actually a good day for me to be doing this video because it's nice to show y'all like what my process looks like over the weekend, especially since I took a little break from trading. I feel like I'm a bit more uh, ready to execute in the markets because I just during August and July, man, it was just everything was just really choppy and not a lot of things made sense to me, and I actually ended up losing one of my accounts. So I just decided to take a break. You know what I mean? So, but I'm back now, and right here it does tell you what the profit target is. So I got the advanced 100K account. They had a sale on it for $76 a month, and then the activation fee is $125, which I'm not tripping about because with Tradeify you can actually pass these accounts in one day, right? So I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna look to do, per se, because I did actually just have to reset the account because I shouldn't have traded on Friday. I had got this account Thursday night. I shouldn't have traded on Friday because Friday tends to be the consolidation days and tend to be my worst days. But I just wanted to play with the leverage and see what all I can do with the account and everything of the sort. So, I was looking to YOLO it, right? But this time going forward, I'm not really gonna try to YOLO or anything. I'm just gonna try to trade it like how I normally do. And yeah. But so the profit target is $6,000. The drawdown is $3,000, and it's a intraday trailing drawdown. So I got to be mindful of that also. Um, I love this journal feature right here. That journal. Remember, I don't know if you guys watched like my previous trade review of the firm, one of my other videos, but y'all can actually find that in the playlist actually. But yeah, I'm really interested about this Tradeify journal feature. Like it shows you the current day win streak, trade streak, how many trades in a row you had, uh, how many winning days you've had, average win loss, everything of the sort. Net profit on the trade win percentage. It'll also show you whatever open positions you have. I think that's pretty dope. I don't. I tend to mostly swing and hold my positions overnight because I look to enter in the Asia session, right? Seeing like if I can catch like any momentum going into London, right? So that's normally where I position myself at, and I look to just hold the trade going into the early AM. And when I wake up, I just decide like, okay, do I want to keep this running? Do I want to add, or do I want to go ahead and close this out? Because we have such a large expansion. But uh, yeah, so this is nice. It also has the calendar right here, so it keeps track of everything. I'm wondering if I'll be able to when I do take more trades on the account. I should be able to maybe like group these and kind of set it up to where it's like uh, I can be more in depth with it. Because right now I use Notion. That's my current journal that I use, or I was using before I took my break from trading. So we got that. Uh, so you don't have any trades. Okay. Okay, so it says you can import the trades and you can also filter them out. Okay, so that's nice. That's nice. Okay. This reports tab is nice too. Okay, so yeah, you can see a whole bunch of different metrics and everything like trade time, what time you're trading at, the duration, how long do you hold. So that's a lot of things, a lot of data you can take into account. They also have the economic calendar here. Um, right now I use Forex Factory. Here it goes right here. Tend to use Forex Factory a lot, like most people do, especially coming when I first started. I was in over in the Forex space, so Forex Factory is what I stuck with. Um, so right here they do have their own economic calendar right here. So let's see, the 16th. What's today? Okay, so September 16th. Uh, okay, this is just for the USA, I think. Do we have anything US related Monday? Yeah, we got news Monday, so I don't know why it's not showing Monday up there. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not showing Monday up there. Unless this is no, that's not it. Because for Monday we should see the Empire State Manufacturing Index, but it's not showing it up there. So I think, and it also looks like this is just for the US also. Wonder if I can play with the settings here maybe. Uh oh, you can filter it out by importance of the news events. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So this little icon right here. Okay, so you can filter out the high impact days. That's what it is. Okay. Cuz now it's showing the 15th and that. So this is like a not really a high impact news driver, it's more medium. I tend to look for the red folder days, and that's why I had Tuesday highlighted. Okay. That's dope. I like that. That's dope. Okay. Well, there we go. This is good for me because this shows me like what days I should look to enter. So with us having high impact news on Tuesday, Monday I'm not gonna really look to trade anything. I'm just gonna look for execution Monday night and see like what Monday's range did, and then going into that, see if we form like some sort of SMT with the previous Friday's range, and then go from there, right? Because we got some pretty high impact news event drivers going on. And I already have everything marked up on my charts too. I like to do all the prep work beforehand, so it's like I'm not dragging along. I've noticed in other videos where I tried to like educate, I would be dragging along a bit and repeat myself. So me doing it this way, I could just get through everything with no issue, right? So yeah, we got an economic calendar. I like that. I really do. That's dope. And I don't have to have another tab open. I can just keep everything right here. Um, However, this is only for the USA. I do also trade the euro and the pound as one of my pairs with futures. That's the 6E and the 6B, right? That's what the ticker symbol is for in the futures markets. But because I do trade those markets also, it is nice. I probably should still use Forex Factory just to see like what's going on over there in those markets. If we have any high impact news drivers for those markets, in case we don't have anything for the US, right? So yeah. Ooh, we have interest rates this week too. Ooh. Since we have interest rates this week, because they're also talking about taking them down. So I wonder if that'll have. I wonder if I really do wonder if the indexes are gonna start selling off a bit because we are at all time highs right now. I'm not trying to call the top or anything like that, but I do wonder if we're gonna see any sort of like retracement, um, headed lower into the week before we get to Wednesday and see what goes on there. All right, but yeah, this is pretty much it, y'all. The journal. Like I said, this is dope. I really like this. This is dope. We're gonna close that out, and here we go. And that's really much it. Like the interface, it's not too bad. Or anything like that. Probably when I start taking trades, you'll see more data and everything of the sort. And I'll keep y'all updated on like how I do with this account. When I'm actually gonna trade it like how I actually trade. So, um, yeah. So we're getting to the other part of the video. We're gonna go ahead and get into like the market breakdown and market uh analysis of it. So right now, Tuesday is the only high impact news days for the dollar. We got the core retail sales. Wednesday we got the FOMC federal funds rate in their statement, and Thursday we have unemployment claims. Oh, we got a lot of news this week, man. We got a lot of news this week. So yeah, should be a pretty volatile week for the market, or you know, we should see a lot of moves this week. Between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like I said, Fridays are the days I need to hammer it in my head. Do not trade on Fridays because that is just my worst day, right? So Fridays need to just be off the table for me personally, you know. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and then go into the charts with my trading view right here. So what I'm looking at here is an SMT divergence on the weekly time frame between, like I said, we are at all-time highs right now uh, for basically all the indexes. So right here is the E-mini Dow Jones or the YM. All right, and between Monday, December 2nd, back in 2024, so from last year, going and that same high, you see on the ES, we've actually taken out that high right here. From a weekly perspective, we've taken out that high. Meanwhile, on the Dow Jones, we haven't taken out that high. We've actually closed below it, right? So this right here is that S&T divergence between these respective weeks on the chart. So December 2nd in 2024, you see right here, my crosshair right here is highlighted on both charts right here. So that same high on here, it got taken out on the week of, basically last week, the week of September 8th, 2025. So we have that S&T divergence. So that's why, as far as right now, going into it, I'm leaning towards lower prices for right now, especially like with the federal funds rate. Like if they decide to keep interest rates where they're at, then I can see the market factoring that in and basically selling off to some degree. Um, Especially here because we have this large imbalance right here that's still sitting right here. So if I see any type of like selling pattern, this is where I'm gonna look to trade to, right? So any type of like sell off and then retracement back, I'm gonna look to sell it down into this area for the next coming weeks and coming days, right? Because for this to happen, it'll probably take a couple weeks for this to happen. So as far as right now, from a like a long term perspective, I'm just bearish right now. I'm bearish right now. All right, so we go to the daily time frame right here. You guys can see from Friday, between Friday of last week right here, we formed a little fair value gap right here. What I'm anticipating to happen, and right here I'll mark out the Sunday's opening price. So this is how I gauge. Um, this is just basically how I gauge what side of the market do I need to be on. Because if we're gonna look for lower prices, if I'm looking for lower prices, then I basically want to see some type of price action above Sunday's opening price taking place, where there's like consolidation and manipulation, and then see a sell off between Tuesday and Thursday, primarily between Tuesday and Wednesday, because according to because I trade off of ICT principles, so the ideology of this is that with the algorithm, the algorithm. But his philosophy is with the algorithm, you only have 5 trading days in the week for whatever move is gonna happen. And he said that basically those moves mainly happen between Tuesday and Thursday. But he said that you have to be a bit careful on Thursdays because that tends to be the threshold for like say a reversal to happen or consolidation to happen. And he said Fridays are mostly the consolidation days unless you have like some high impact news driver like say NFP and everything of the sort that takes place, right? But that's basically the philosophy of why I marked Sunday's opening price. Is from one of his videos that I watched, short-term trading videos that I watched, and I kind of like implemented that into some of the other concepts that I use from his methods. But so yeah, if I'm anticipating lower prices, I want to see some sort of like consolidation take place on Monday and potentially going into Tuesday, see a manipulation, and then confirmation, some sort of confirmation pattern that we're going to see lower prices, right? But that's just right here on the daily time frame. So right here we have that Friday, uh open low high close day right here, this bearish candle. So like I said, if I'm bearish, I want to see either some sort of S&T form at this high right here from Friday, because that also was the high of the week last week, because we're at all-time highs right now. So um especially like if we look at it right here on the YM or the US 30, the Dow Jones index, you see we already had like a liquidity raid right here. We already had some sort of liquidity raid right here. So this is that consolidation, and right here we had that manipulation. So here we can look for some sort of distribution right here. As matter of fact, I'm going to mark this out because honestly too, since US 30 is the weaker pair, I probably should be trading this one. However, it's just that with the ES, I have a more clearly defined price target with this weekly imbalance right here, right? Whereas on the YM, that same imbalance doesn't really exist. Oh well, that same imbalance is there, but it's just that it was already filled in. However, I can still take this, and this is also a fair value gap in a sense because there's no price action that's taking place right here. So this is still unfulfilled. Although this is a fair value gap, yes, this portion of the gap got filled in. However, with this right here, there's still no trading that took place down here. So I actually could use this as a target, right? I actually could use this as a target. But as far as right now, so if I go back to the daily time frame, so as far as right now, we have that consolidation, manipulation, and potentially distribution back down into these lows, taking out these lows, this swing low, this swing low, this swing low, but and back down to this fair value gap right here, right? And this is from a weekly perspective, right? This gap is from a weekly perspective, so I know that this low right here, even though we're on the daily time frame, I know that this low right here is going into this gap, right? So there's that. So yeah, YM is probably the pair that I should look to trade. Right. All right. So we're gonna do 9/14/25 Sunday open. There we go. Right, because we have that higher time frame SMT. Right. So there's that. If I go to a 4-hour chart, actually, hold on. I want to do this real quick. I'm gonna go back here because we already have that SMT there. So I think that should hold. But I'm open to being wrong, especially here. So with the Friday close, like I said, that consolidation, manipulation, distribution. I want to say. So here's what I want to see here. Say on Sunday, or yeah, going into Sunday, we open up. Right, we open up and we trade back into 50% of that candle, 50% of this candle of Friday's range from last week, or the previous week that just went by. Right, so if we trade back up into here, that'll be that's where I consider that a premium area. Let's do this. We change my fib back to the premium and discount. Right, so the entire range of this candle right here, you can either do the wicks or you can do at the opens and close of the body of the candle. But we get back up into here, say we open up going into Sunday, we get back up to here. Say if we're trading inside of here anytime during Monday, forming Monday's range, if the S&T holds, I'll look to sell and target some of these failure swings right here, some of these swings right here, or these old lows right there. So that's my current analysis or trade idea set on the US 30. I was looking at ES first, but after further analysis and more inspection, it's like YM is the pair that we should be looking to be trading, right? Because everything is more clear on this chart, right? And everything aligns with the, say, leaning more towards, if we want to see some bearish price action, I want to look for bearish price action, then with this being the weaker pair that formed the lower high, right? This is the pair that we want to trade it on right here. All right, so that's on the YM. I looked at gold and silver because I trade multiple markets because my strategy, I usually just end up holding my trades over a little direction because I trade in Asia and I look to hold into the morning session. So usually I only find like 1 or 2 good setups throughout the week. So that's why I look to trade multiple markets so I can find like more opportunities. Nothing really for me on gold and silver, I mean there is like a bit of a consolidation. Then we have a manipulation right here. However, we haven't seen any type of distribution, and I don't see any bearish candles. And you go to sort, and statistically, gold and the metals, statistically, they tend to when they're at all time highs, they usually don't sell off right away. They usually just continue to trade higher because these are seen as hedges against inflation, right? So, yeah, I really don't see anything on gold or silver. So I that's why I didn't mark it up. I was just leaving it alone. Like we have these gaps right here, but I don't know what these candles. I don't know what the next candle is gonna be, right? So as far as like gold and silver, it's probably just best for me personally to just sit back, you know. So yeah, but however, the other two markets that I'm looking to trade and also find positions on this week is the currency markets for the futures. So right here is the 6E, or right here we have the 6E. This is the Euro futures, right? This is the symbol for it, the 6E. And we have the pound futures, the 6B. That's the symbol for that. All right, so you guys, yeah, you can still trade currencies on futures. I don't see too many YouTubers doing that, at least from my perspective. Or the people that I watch, they're really deep into like the metals and the indexes. But the reason why I'm looking at the currencies for the euro and the pound is because they have that S&T right in here, that daily S&T sitting right here, and also too because I think that we can reach up if the S&T holds, which it looks like it is, right? Looks like it's holding because we had this down close candle right here on the euro, and then now we have a bullish up close candle right here. So we have this wick, so that's a liquidity run to me inside of a fair value gap. However, the same gap at the for the euro on the pound, because these should be correlated assets, right? They should be moving in unison, because that we have this S&T right here inside of this gap, right? These respective gaps. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and mark it so y'all can see what I'm talking about, because I don't know if some people might not be following. But inside of the same fair value gap, right? We went below this low. However, we didn't even tag the gap on this low. So the pound is actually the stronger pair. And the price target that I have marked out for the pound, I want to see price go ahead and take out here and go above this liquidity that's resting here, these relative equal highs right here. Take that out and then have a retracement. So I'm looking for like some sort of like expansion. So the first couple of days probably expansion candles higher, then have a retracement inside of the week, and then not necessarily look for another expansion move to take place this week, but like look for another expansion move, or say like there may be some consolidation going on later in the week, and then next week, the following week, we go ahead and see that push to fill in this imbalance that's resting right here on the pound, right? Not saying that's gonna happen, but that's just what I'm looking for right now. And if the pair I would probably trade is probably the pound, because it aligns more with bullish price action, which is what I want to see, right? Not saying that I can't trade the euro, because I most likely can, but the targets just look different on the euro. Like the targets for the euro, if we see any expansion higher, right, based off of this price action, we most likely will see some sort of expansion higher, probably at like the 50% of the range of this wick right here. We see that, then this is the first target, and then this is the second target, and then after that, really, it's the high back here all the way back in June of 2025. So the first target would be here, and then the second is here, and I'm not anticipating it to go here no time this week, right? But as far as right now, this is a target for this week, and this is a target for this week if I were to trade the euro. So we just had to see how the market opens up, but those are my current trade ideas, and that's my current market analysis right now. So yeah, that's really it. Nothing else to say. So I will say this. I would like to thank, if you guys did sit here and watch the video through its entirety, I do appreciate it. And like I said, feel free. Don't feel free, but like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Turn on that notification bell when and so you're notified whenever I do another upload. And yeah, I'm excited to be sharing this with y'all and sharing y'all my journey and my process, man. And you know, just know y'all not alone out there. Everybody has their struggles and everybody has their own methods. So with that being said, this is Jay Devar, y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.